The topic that keeps on coming up again and again with my clients is discipline. So therefore, today we're going to speak about that. Let your spirit rise. So the first thing I want you to understand about discipline is that it is like a muscle. So it's something that you train. It's not an end goal. It's not like once you become disciplined, then you never ever need to work on it again. It's something that is being acquired over time, and it's something that you need to maintain with practice. One of the major benefits about discipline that nobody speaks about is that over time, whenever you're going through a rough patch, discipline is the thing that is gonna keep you safe and back to your own center. As for us, it's way easier to keep on doing the things that we know are good for us whenever we feel good and whenever things are aligning. So for example, let's say that everything in your career or business is going great and you feel good in your body and also your relationship is doing great, then for you it would be way easier to continue to do the habits that make you feel good. If you feel good in your body, it's going to be easier for you to keep on going to trainings and to make the right choices. But the truth is that whenever we don't feel good in our life, in general, in different aspects, then we need discipline the most so that we can get back on track and that we can work for the results that we are wishing for. Another truth is that oftentimes when everything is aligning for us, we tend to give it to the odds and to the external circumstances. But oftentimes, actually, what led to these great circumstances and to us feeling so good, all the times that we chose to do the right thing for us. So, for example, if you are in a time in your life where everything in your career is going great, then this most probably is not just by chance. It is because before that you educated yourself, you went through different courses, you did all the necessary activities that you needed to do to get to the point where you're at right now. Same with trainings, same with everything. So in that sense, it is very possible that if you are in a good time in your life, it's because before that you were disciplined. However, what happens often is that whenever we go to this great period of our lives, we tend to stop do all the things that actually led to this. This has happened to me before very often in the past. So for example, I get to this great period of my life where everything's aligning, I have a lot of friends, my relationship is doing great, also things in business are going great. So this is the time when I used to stop do all the necessary activities, such as meditation, such as training, such as educating myself more and more, such as putting the effort, because I was like, well, now everything's good, so I'm just gonna rest and chill, which is okay. We do need that as well. But at the same time, we need to have this stability and this sort of routine so that we can keep going even when times get rough or when times get good as well. So what I mean is that whenever you learn to be disciplined, first you need to work on that through time and over time. So to not, lose the muscle of being disciplined. And second of all, whenever you feel bad and whenever you're going through a rough patch in your life, the same discipline is actually going to help you get out of this rough patch much easier. Because whenever we don't feel good, we don't want to meditate, we don't want to work out, we just want to lay in bed and feel sad and just wait for outer circumstances to change so that we can, get better. But the truth is that this is actually the time that we need ourselves the most. And this is the time when you make the effort to do the right thing, meaning meditate or do your routine or go training or go and do everything that you need to do for your business, even though you don't really feel like it. Then afterwards you are going to feel so much better, and afterwards you're going to have the inspiration to do more and more. And this is also a great time to start talking about dopamine levels, because we all know that if you continue to give yourself cheap dopamine, meaning scrolling on social media all the time, or eating foods that you know are not good for you, or doing everything that you know is toxic and is the easy way to get out of the negative emotions that you're feeling, then over time it's going to get easier and easier to choose the wrong thing for you at the time. So the right way to regulate your dopamine levels is first, of course, to go through a detox. So at least 3 days without scrolling or without having those cheap dopamines. 3 days are enough so that you can actually start feeling benefits. If you can go through more, even better. The second thing is to start small. So you know how when you have some difficult things to do or some things that you are neglecting, you don't want to do them and you keep on making those excuses of why it's not the right time to do them, well, as soon as you start doing even one thing that you don't want to do, then afterwards you're going to get that boost of dopamine, of healthy dopamine, and then afterwards you're going to be more inspired to do the next afterwards you're going to be more inspired to do the next tasks on your to-do list. Also, it's very important to set truly realistic goals. And what I mean by that, for example, today I really didn't feel like filming any YouTube videos. I definitely just wanted to skip this, and of course my brain started coming up with all the crazy excuses why today is not the right day, but I really knew that I just need to do it. I have been neglecting this over the past few days, so it was the right time to do it. Normally, I would think is a realistic goal is to film videos for my Bulgarian and for my English channel. But in this day where I didn't feel like doing anything connected to YouTube, I knew that this would sound a little bit too much for me. So what I did is that I promised myself that I'm gonna film at least one video. The Bulgarian channel is much easier for me. Of course, it's my mother language, so way easier. So I promised myself that I'm going to film at least one video for my Bulgarian channel. And as soon as I did that, because it was like doing the difficult thing that I was neglecting, my dopamine levels jumped. And after I finished this video, I was already kind of preparing to go out, but at the same time I felt this rush and I felt this inspiration to continue to film videos. So this is how I ended up opening my camera and continuing with this video as well. And this is exactly what I mean. Once you do something difficult for you, then you're gonna get the good dopamine, and then you're gonna feel more inspired to do the next tasks. Something extremely important that really influenced the way I feel discipline is changing the way I see discipline, because there's always a lot of heaviness around it and it feels like it's something way bigger than us and something that is really difficult to do. But whenever we change the lens and we stop seeing it as discipline and start seeing it as devotion to ourselves, devotion to our goals, then this simple shift in our brain changes the way we go for the day. Something very important for you to understand is that lack of discipline doesn't always come from laziness. It might come from an underlying reason that we don't even know exists. From my experience with clients, most of the time we are talking about fear. It could be fear from failure, fear from success, from having too many responsibilities, from not living up to your own expectations or the expectations of others. It can be a lot of things. So if you start going for the root cause and understanding it, then being disciplined and devoted to your goals is going to be way easier. Not that otherwise it wouldn't happen. It would still happen even if you don't know the underlying reason. But the thing is that if you understand the root cause of your problems, then being disciplined is going to be easier. It's not going to be requiring that much energy from you. One of the biggest issues that we all face is having the expectation that we're going to be the same person every day with the same level of productivity and inspiration as the day before. This is not true for all of us, but especially for women. Women go through a cycle of 28 days, so over all those 4 different phases that we go through, we are literally different human beings. Our level of hormones are fluctuating and we have different levels of inspiration and productivity in the different phases. And in that sense, to escape from having the expectation of being the same every day, but at the same time to continue to be disciplined and devoted to your goals, what you need to do is just show up. Show up every day for your vision and do at least one thing that is connected to it. Instead of promising yourself that you're gonna train 5 days a week, every week, and you're gonna have the same exercises, promise yourself that you are gonna have at least one movement per day. It could be a walk or a simple stretching or a yoga for 20 minutes at home, or it could be a full-on workout, depending on the way you feel and depending on the phase that you are at. So just remember that showing up looks different every day. I apply the same principle to work. Some days I feel like working 6, 7, 8, 12 hours a day because I'm more inspired and more productive and I'm working on something that I really love. But other days I just don't feel like it. But even if I don't feel like it, I do at least one simple and easy thing so that I show that I'm devoted to my vision. Another little trick that really helps when it comes to discipline is to focus on the way you're going to feel after finishing the task instead of thinking of the task itself. So for example, if today I'm thinking about the whole process that I need to go through to film a YouTube video, I would definitely not feel like doing it. But if I think about the end result, so how am I going to feel afterwards? How more satisfied will I be with myself after I do the task? Then this gives me the motivation to actually do it. Another little trick is to stop negotiating with yourself and think about the standards that you have for yourself. For example, when it comes to hygiene levels, let's say that we all have this bare minimum of hygiene levels of brushing our teeth in the morning and in the evening, or at least most of us. This means that when you wake up, there's no negotiation whether you're going to do it or not. This is a standard for yourself. So you just wake up, you go to the bathroom, and you just do it. You don't ask yourself if you're lazy or if you feel like it. This is the bare minimum for your hygiene that you are going to do today. This is your standard. So in that sense, when we speak about standards and you decide on your own standards, then the negotiation with yourself just stops. It is no longer applicable, because this is something that you promised to yourself is the bare minimum, so that you can feel okay and good and satisfied with yourself. And of course, it's important that you start with realistic goals, as I said. So 5 days a week training is a little bit inadequate, but let's say 3 days per week of movement, it's okay. And then over time, this can change. It can become more, it can become less, depending on your life and everything. Start thinking about discipline as a form of self-love. Inside of all of us, there's the aspect of the child, but also the aspect of the parent. And the way the parent is treating the child can vary depending on the different situations. Sometimes this might look like just letting yourself be and chill for the whole day and have a short walk in the afternoon, but other times it might look like pushing yourself to do the things that you don't really feel like doing. So as I always say, this is something that can be trained and learned, so don't beat yourself up. Start small, start realistic, and things are slowly gonna fall into place. Thank you so much for being with me. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and follow me on Instagram, and I'm gonna see you next week.